me. I appreciate it. Thank you for rescheduling as well.
Oh, no, not a worry. So, Jake, I ran into you, I guess, on YouTube when the algorithm decided I'd like to see your content there, and it was right. And I went on a little rabbit trail down there, listening to your content and your reaction videos and stuff, and just getting a sense for you. Really love your stuff. And maybe for those who are watching tonight that don't know who you are, maybe you can give us a little background about what you do and how you got into what you do.
Yeah, so I've got a YouTube channel called Rattlesnake TV, and I started it about a year and a half ago, about a year and a half ago now. And the reason why I got into this more political side of things was because COVID actually red-pilled me about these things. Before that, I never really cared too much about politics, never really delved into it too much. And then when COVID happened, all of the restrictions around me, because I was in Australia, were a little bit too much, and we had to get around and start fighting against the mandates. So that's what happened there. That's how I got my into politics and when I really started to care. But yeah, you can find me at Jake Rattle SNK on Instagram and Twitter, and then Rattlesnake TV on YouTube. And yeah, it's a brief story of how I got into it.
What did you do beforehand?
Oh man, I did heaps of things. I was working at the Salvation Army for a few years. I was a personal trainer for a while. I did a recruitment for a bit. I worked in a brewery for a few years in London. Yeah, I've done a lot of different stuff. Didn't really have a thing before this.
I hear
Lots
you.
lots of podcasting though. I mean, I did lots of podcasting for about 5 years before it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I did like a mixed martial arts podcast, about 100 episodes of that. I did an Australian rules football podcast. I did one more where I was on the street going to protests and sort of like debating with protesters. And I did one where I was more political activism against COVID as well. So that was like 4 of those. And I did that for about like maybe 5 years or so and never earned a cent off it or anything. So done my 10,000 hours plus, that's for sure.
You're doing that. You actually rebranded your Rattlesnake podcast to reality-based podcast now. Can you talk about that a little bit? Yeah.
Sure, man. So we started a podcast last year where I was basically just getting people on the channel, and I called it the Rattlesnake Podcast because obviously in alignment with the brand. But then I just didn't like it, and then over Christmas and New Year's, I was sort of thinking to myself that I wanted to do a bit of a rebrand and wanted to get more guests on the channel this year and invest in some equipment where I could do in-person interviews and where I could eventually set up a studio. And I thought that I would just rebrand it, give it a new name. I saw what some other people were doing, like Alex O'Connor from the Cosmic Skeptic channel. I saw that he made a new podcast called Within Reason. I really liked that. And I liked how he had that as like sort of a separate entity in a sense. And yeah, so I eventually was brainstorming. I came up with the name Reality Based after a while and really liked it, and then got some logos going and just going hard with interviews at the moment. So yeah.